My dear child, come closer and be still for just a moment. I want you to take a slow, deep breath right now and simply listen. Not with your ears, but with the deepest part of your heart. The part that has been waiting, watching, and wondering if I am still near. The part that carries questions too heavy for words. The part that aches quietly when no one is looking. I see that part of you. I always have. And today, right here in this very moment, I am reaching through the noise of your daily life to speak to you directly. I want you to understand something before I say anything else. You did not stumble onto this message by chance. There is no such thing as accident in my hands. I do not allow things to reach you randomly. Every word you are hearing right now was meant for you, crafted for you, held in my heart until this very second when I knew your spirit was ready to receive it. So settle in. Let go of the rushing thoughts. Let go of the unfinished tasks and the unread messages and the endless lists. For just a little while, be here with me. Because I have something important to say. You have been carrying so much. Know the weight you wake up with every morning. I know the invisible heaviness that sits on your chest before your feet even touch the floor. I know the effort it takes to smile at people who ask how you are when inside you are still trying to find the answer yourself. I know the prayers you have prayed in the dark, the ones that felt like they floated up and disappeared into the ceiling, the ones where you wondered if I was truly listening or if your voice was simply lost in the vastness of everything else, calling for my attention. My child, hear me clearly. I was listening every single time. Not one prayer you have ever spoken, whispered, or even just felt in your heart has gone unheard. I hold each one. I remember each one. And I am responding to each one, even when the response looks different from what you expected. There is a plan over your life that goes far beyond what your eyes can currently see. I want you to really sit with that truth, not just hear it as a familiar phrase, but actually feel the weight of it. A plan, not a vague outline, not a rough sketch. A specific, detailed, carefully designed plan that I have been building and shaping and tending to since before you drew your first breath. I knew who you would become before your parents ever held you. I knew the roads you would walk, the storms that would test you, the moments that would nearly break you, and the ones that would quietly rebuild you. And not one day of your life has been outside of my awareness, not one. Today I want to speak to you about a door that is opening, a door you have not yet seen, but that your spirit has been sensing. Have you felt it? A stirring, a quiet but persistent feeling that something is about to shift. Perhaps you have tried to push it away, calling it wishful thinking. Perhaps you have been afraid to hope because hope has felt dangerous before. But that feeling is real. That stirring is me. I am moving. In your story right now, and the door that is opening before you is one I have been preparing for a very long time. Do not be afraid of it. Do not back away when it becomes visible. I'm asking you to walk toward it with trust, because here is what I know about you. You are stronger than you realize. The very fact that you are still standing, still breathing, still believing even a little bit after everything you have faced, tells me everything about the kind of person I made you to be. The storms did not destroy you. The disappointments did not define you. The moments when you fell did not disqualify you. You got back up, sometimes slowly, sometimes barely, but you got back up. And that matters more than you know. I did not make you a quitter. I made you a survivor. I made you someone who, even in the darkest valley, keeps moving forward. That is not a small thing. That is one of the most beautiful things I see in you. Now I want to talk about what is ahead, not just in the distant future, but in the near one. The season you are stepping into is unlike any you have known before. You have walked through seasons of lack and seasons of loss. You have walked through seasons of confusion when nothing seemed to make sense and every road felt like the wrong one. But I am telling you today, with full certainty, that a new season is rising. And this season is marked by something you have longed for deeply. It is marked by clarity, by peace, by doors opening instead of closing, by prayers being answered in ways that make you catch your breath and whisper, You actually heard me. Because I did. I always did. And now you will begin to see the fruit of the seeds you planted in tears. My precious one, do not grow weary now. I know the timing has felt long. I know there have been moments when you looked at your life and wondered if you had somehow been forgotten, passed over, left behind while others seem to move forward easily. I need you to understand something about that. The time it has taken is not punishment. It has never been punishment. Every waiting season in your life has been a growing season. Every moment that felt like delay was actually me doing something deep and necessary inside you, something that had to be done before the blessing could come, because the blessing required a version of you that was ready to carry it well. You are becoming that version. You are closer than you think. I have watched you press forward when everything in you wanted to stop. I have seen you choose kindness when bitterness would have been easier. I have seen you choose faith when doubt was louder. I have seen you get on your knees in exhaustion and still whisper my name. That does not go unnoticed. That is not something I take lightly. When my children pursue me, even through pain, even through confusion, even when the answers are not coming fast enough, something extraordinary happens. It builds a depth of character, a richness of soul, a quality of faith that cannot be manufactured any other way. And my child, you have that depth. You have earned it through the tears and the long nights and the prayers that felt unanswered. It is in you now. It is yours. And what comes next in your life will be carried by that very strength. Let me tell you something about the way I work. I do not do things halfway. When I decide to move in someone's life, I do not do a little. I do abundantly. I do beyond what was asked. I do in ways that leave no doubt that it was my hand, my timing, my love behind it all. And that is exactly what I am preparing to do in your life. Not a trickle of blessing, not a small adjustment to the same old story. I am preparing something that will make your heart overflow. Something that will bring tears to your eyes, not from pain, but from gratitude. From the overwhelming realization that I never gave up on you, that the waiting was worth every second, that what I have prepared for you is more than your fears were ever able to imagine. But I want to prepare your heart for how it will come. Because sometimes people are looking so hard for the big dramatic moment that they miss the quiet miracle standing right in front of them. I often show up in the gentle things, in the unexpected conversation that changes everything, in the open door that looks small but leads somewhere vast, in the person who crosses your path and whose presence feels like a breath of fresh air when you had almost forgotten what that felt like. Pay attention to the quiet moments. Pay attention to the things that bring unexpected peace. Pay attention to the moments when your spirit feels lighter for no obvious reason. That is me. I am in those moments. I am speaking through them. And as you step into this new season, I am asking you to develop the habit of looking for me in the small things, because the small things are where I often hide my greatest gifts. Now, my child, I want you to release something. I want you to release the version of the story you have been holding on to. The one where you had to have everything figured out by a certain age, where things had to go a certain way in a certain order, where if the path looked different from what you planned, it meant you had failed somehow. That version of the story has been weighing you down, and it is not my version. My version of your story is not bound by the timelines you created, or the expectations others placed on you, or the comparisons you have made between your path and someone else's. My version of your story is one where every single thing, the unexpected, turns, the difficult years, the seasons that made no sense, all of it is woven together into something breathtaking, something that when you look back on it from the other side, you will say, I could not have written it this well myself. Because you couldn't have, but I could, and I did, and I am still writing it right now. There is a piece I want to give you today that goes beyond your ability to manufacture it yourself. Not the temporary relief that comes from things going well, but the deep, settled peace that rests in your spirit even when things are still uncertain. The kind of peace that says, I do not have all the answers, but I know the one who does, and I trust him. That peace is available to you right now. Not someday when everything is resolved, not when the situation changes. Right now, in the middle of the waiting, in the middle of the uncertainty, in the middle of whatever you are facing. I am offering it to you freely. All you have to do is receive it. Let go of the grip you have been keeping on the outcome. Let go of the need to control what happens next. Open your hands and your heart and receive the peace I have been holding out to you. Because here is the truth, my beloved. Control was never yours to carry. You were never designed to hold the weight of every outcome, to manage every variable, to predict and prevent and plan for every possibility. That was never your role. Your role has always been to walk with me one step at a time in faith and trust. My role has been to handle everything your eyes cannot see, everything your hands cannot reach, everything your mind cannot fully comprehend. That is a partnership I designed, and it works beautifully when you let it. When you stop trying to carry what only I can carry and simply focus on the one step in front of you, the next step, the one I am illuminating right now, just that one step, and then the next one, and I will be faithful to light each one as it comes. I want to speak now about the relationships in your life, the ones that have shaped you, the ones that have hurt you, and the ones that are still to come. You have loved people who did not know how to love you back well. You have given to people who took without knowing how to give in return. You have stayed in situations longer than was good for you because your heart was trying to believe the best, trying to give one more chance, trying to hold on to something that was already crumbling. I honor the love in you that made you do that. I know it came from a genuine place. But I also need you to hear this. My child, I never meant for your love to be something others could simply consume. I placed love inside you to flow outward and to also receive something back. Love was designed to be a river, not a drain. And if the connections in your life have been draining you more than they have been refreshing you, it is time to trust me with that. It is time to let me bring the kind of relationships into your life that carry the nature of my own heart. Relationships that are honest and steady and nourishing. Ones where both people are committed to growing, to forgiving, to building something. Real together, and yes, I am speaking specifically about companionship, about the longing in your heart for someone who truly sees you. Not the surface version of you, not the version you perform for the world, but the real you. The one you are when the doors are closed and the masks come off and you are just sitting quietly with your thoughts, someone who knows that version of you and chooses it. Someone who does not need you to be polished or perfect or impressive. Someone who sits comfortably in your realness and calls it beautiful. My child, that is not too much to ask for. That desire was placed in you by me. It is good. It is right. And I am not ignoring it. I am actively preparing something in that area of your life. And I want to speak to the fears that rise when you think about it. The fear that says you have been hurt too many times to try again. The fear that says you are too much for some people and not enough for others. The fear that says everyone eventually leaves, so why let anyone in? I hear those fears. I understand where they came from. Every one of them was born from a real wound, a real moment when someone failed you. But my child, fear cannot be allowed to make the decisions for your future. If fear leads, you will stay exactly where you are, and where you are is not where I am taking you. I am asking you to do something courageous. I am not asking you to forget what hurt you. I am not asking you to pretend the wounds were not real. I am asking you to trust me enough to believe that what is ahead is not a repeat of what was behind. I am asking you to believe that I am capable of bringing people into your life who will handle your heart carefully, who will be worth the risk of opening it again, because they are out there. And I am already at work arranging the steps that will lead you toward each other. This person I am bringing into your path will not arrive with fanfare or drama. They will arrive quietly, naturally, in the middle of ordinary life. And there will be something about them that feels different from the very beginning. Not overwhelming or rushed or too intense. Just different. Peaceful. As if something in your spirit recognizes something in theirs. And when that happens, do not brush it off. Do not talk yourself out of it. Pay attention. Stay open. Ask me to confirm what you are sensing, and I will. I will make it clear. I will bring you a settled knowing in your spirit that says, this is the one I was telling you about. This is part of the gift I promised. And this relationship, this connection I am bringing, will carry fruit. Not just good feelings in the beginning, but genuine fruit over time. The fruit of mutual respect, the fruit of honest communication, the fruit of two people who disagree sometimes, but choose to work through it rather than walk away. The fruit of laughter and shared purpose and quiet mornings, and the kind of trust that is built slowly and carefully and becomes something so solid that it does not shake when the storms come, because the storms will come. I never promised a life without them. But I am promising you a relationship strong enough to weather them because it was built on the right foundation, on truth, on patience, on me at the center of it. Now, my beloved, there is something else I want to address. Your sense of purpose, the feeling that has been growing inside you that you were made for more than you are currently living. That quiet voice that says there is something specific you are supposed to do, something you are supposed to contribute, something that only you can bring to the world in the way that only you can bring it. That voice is real. That is not arrogance. That is not fantasy. That is me speaking to the calling I placed inside you before you were born. Every person I create with intention. I do not make duplicates. I do not make fillers. I make originals. And I made you with a very specific set of gifts, experiences, perspectives, and passions that are uniquely yours. And those things were not given to you to sit unused. I know that fear has held you back from some of it. Fear of failure. Fear of what people will think. Fear that you are not qualified enough or talented enough or educated enough. Fear that you will start and it will not work and you will look foolish for having tried. I understand those fears, but I want to ask you something. What if I am more confident in you than you are in yourself? What if I have already accounted for your weaknesses in my plan? What if the things you see as disqualifications are actually part of what makes you the right person for the calling on your life? Because that is exactly how I work. I do not call the already equipped. I equip the called, and I have called you. I need you to begin taking small steps toward the things I have been putting on your heart. Not giant leaps, not a perfectly laid out plan. Just small, faithful steps in the direction I am nudging you. Try the thing. Write the first word. Make the call. Have the conversation. Take the class. Open the door. You do not need to see the whole staircase. You just need to take the first step and trust that the next one will be lit when you get there. I have never sent anyone out to walk in darkness without being their light. I will be yours. I will guide each step if you will simply take it. And as you begin to move forward into what I have for you, I want you to carry this with you. You are not alone. Not for 1 second of the journey that lies ahead are you without my presence. Not when it is exciting and full of momentum. Not when it is quiet and the progress seems invisible. Not when you make mistakes and wonder if you have ruined everything. Not when doubt comes and you cannot feel me near. I am always there. Not because you earned it or performed well enough for it, but because that is simply who I am. I do not abandon my children. I do not give up on them. I do not grow tired of them or run out of patience for them or decide they are too much to bother with anymore. That is not my nature. My nature is faithfulness. My nature is love. And my love for you has no conditions attached to it, no fine print, no expiration date. So when the enemy comes, and he will come, whispering that you are too far gone, that you have made too many mistakes, that it is too late for you, that I have moved on, I want you to speak back to those lies with confidence. Say, my God does not leave. My God does not give up. My God knew every failure I would ever make before he called me, and he called me anyway. Say it until you believe it. Again, say it until the lie retreats, because it will retreat. The enemy has no power over a heart that is firmly anchored in truth. My child, let us talk about rest for a moment, because I'm concerned about how little of it you have been allowing yourself. Not just physical rest, though that matters too, but the deeper rest that comes from genuinely releasing your burdens into my hands and leaving them there. You have a tendency to pray and then pick everything back up again and carry it yourself. You surrender and then take it back. You trust and then try to manage it at the same time. I understand why. It feels safer when you feel like you have some control. But the truth is, you were never in control of the things that really matter anyway, and pretending you are only exhausts you without actually changing anything. Real rest comes from real surrender. From looking at everything that is heavy and unresolved and uncertain in your life and saying with your whole heart, "Father, this is yours. I trust you with it. I am not going to carry what you never asked me to carry." That kind of surrender is not weakness. It is one of the most powerful things a person can do, and I will meet you in that surrender every single time. When you let go, I take hold. When you stop striving, I start working in ways that striving could never produce. The things that have felt stuck in your life, the areas where you have pushed and seen nothing move, I want to show you what happens when you stop pushing and simply start trusting. I can move what your best efforts could not move. I can open what your best strategies could not open. I can make a way where you have looked and seen nothing but a wall. That is not me showing off. That is simply the nature of who I am. I am the God of impossibilities. I am the one who opens doors that no one can shut. And some of those doors are about to swing open in your life. I want to speak to the worry that visits you in the night. When everything is quiet and the distractions fade away and the thoughts come rushing in, the what-ifs and the worst cases and the replaying of things that have already happened and the anxious projecting into things that have not happened yet. I know those nights well. I see you in them. And I want you to know that even in those moments, even when your mind will not be still and your heart races and sleep feels far away, I am sitting with you. I am not bothered by your anxiety. I am not frustrated with you for struggling. I am simply there, steady and close, waiting for you to remember that you can bring all of it to me, talk to me in those moments. Not perfectly formed prayers with eloquent words, just honest words. Just the raw truth of what is happening inside you. Tell me what you are afraid of. Tell me what feels out of control. Tell me the thing you have not said out loud to anyone, because you are not sure they would understand. I understand. I already know it. But there is something powerful that happens when you speak it to me, when you bring it from the inside of you into the space between us. Something shifts, something lightens, and I will speak back to your heart in the quiet that follows. Not always in dramatic ways. Sometimes in a single thought that brings sudden calm. Sometimes in a single memory of a time I came through for you before. Sometimes in a peace that simply settles over you without any logical explanation. That is me. That is my response to your honesty. And you can have that any time, at 3 in the morning or in the middle of a busy afternoon. I am always available to you. My beloved, the time is coming when you will look back at this period of your life and understand things you cannot understand right now. The connections between the difficult seasons and the growth they produced. The reasons behind the closed doors and how the right door eventually opened because of what the closed ones taught you. The ways I was protecting you in the waiting. The ways I was preparing you for exactly what was coming. You will see it all from the other side, and it will make sense in the most beautiful and unexpected way. The things that broke you will be revealed as the things that built you. The losses will be seen as the makings of the deepest parts of who you became. And you will say with tears and wonder that it was all worth it. Every single hard moment was worth it. But you do not have to wait until then to trust me. You do not have to have the full picture before you decide that I am good. You can choose to trust me right now in the middle of the incomplete story, right here where the end is not yet visible and the path is not fully clear and the answers are still coming. You can choose faith right now. And that choice, that deliberate stepping forward in trust even when you cannot see everything, that is one of the most powerful acts a human being can perform. It is the kind of faith that moves mountains. And you are capable of it. I know you are. So today, my child, this is what I am asking of you. Not perfection, not having all the answers, not suddenly having it all together. I am simply asking you to take one step toward me, to choose to believe just a little more than you did yesterday, to open your heart just a little wider than it has been, to say to me, I do not understand everything, I cannot see everything, but I trust you. That is enough. That is all I need from you to begin moving in the way I have been longing to move. Your small mustard seed of faith is enough for me to work with. Hand it to me and watch what I can do with it. Because here is my promise to you, and I do not break. My promise is, I am near, I am working. I have not forgotten you. I have not moved on. I am not withholding anything from you out of indifference or displeasure. I am carefully, lovingly, deliberately doing something in your life that is going to be worth every moment of the wait. Good things are coming, real things, lasting things, things that will make you feel seen and valued and deeply, genuinely loved. Not because you finally earned them, but because I am a good father and you are my beloved child, and that has always been enough reason. Keep going. Keep believing. Keep bringing me your honest, imperfect, tired, hopeful heart every single day. And watch, just keep watching. Because what I do next in your story is going to remind you of exactly who I am. Faithful, powerful, personal, and completely, utterly, unconditionally in love with you. Dear God, I come to you today carrying everything I have been holding for too long, the questions I have not known how to ask, the fears I have not known how to name, the hope I have been afraid to fully release because hoping has felt risky. But here I am, all of me, with all of it. I am choosing today to believe that you are near, to believe that your plans for me are good, to believe that the waiting has not been wasted, to believe that what you are doing in my life, even the parts I cannot see, is something worth trusting. Help me to let go of control. Help me to release what I have been gripping so tightly and rest in the truth that you hold all of it far better than I ever could. Give me the courage to take the next step, even when I cannot see where it leads. Give me the peace that does not depend on circumstances, but comes only from knowing you. And help me to stay open, to keep my heart soft, to receive every good thing you are preparing to bring into my life, including the person, the purpose, and the peace that you have promised. I trust you, even when it is hard, even when I do not fully understand. I trust you, and I thank you for never giving up on me, for never looking away, for never stopping work in my story, even when I could not feel it happening. You are good. You have always been good, and you will be good through everything that is still to come. In your name, with my whole and grateful heart. Amen. If you believe he is working in your story right now, type Amen in the comments and share this with someone who needs to hear it today. You never know whose turning point this message might be.